Okay, sorry about that. So that doesn't make me feel, I don't feel in any way inferior. I feel empowered because I know that we were made in his likeness, and I know that we were made in his image. So if I was made in the likeness and image of something and someone so powerful, then what does that say about me? And I'm empowered by that. I don't feel threatened. Why would I feel threatened about someone who loves me and wants me to succeed and wants me to win and wants me to find the truth? And in order to do that, he understands that I have to have experiences. He understands that I have to go through things. He understands that I'm going to make mistakes. I mean, just some of the stuff that they say about God is so silly these days. It just doesn't make any sense. So anyway, just hold on tight and stay prayed up. This is a good time to get to know your God. This is a good time to get to know who he is and get to know what he is about. Of course, I would point out the Bible because there's some things in there, some need to know things, but at the same time, it's something that you also have to read with discernment. I'm not going to say believe every single word because things did get lost in translation. You can do your own research about that. But I will say, just stay prayed up, and this is a good time to get to know God, because when the shit shakes down, you're going to want to have that relationship. Don't take my word for it. I'm just saying, if there's nothing else out there and you feel like you've tried everything, give God a try. The next card is the Tower. 16. Okay, so this card was upside down. Just like I said, the Tower. Anytime the Tower happens, it's always upheaval. It's always change. It's just kind of one of those things where you have to think about what you can control in the situation, control what you can control, and let go and let God. This is where the process of surrendering takes place. Realize that, like the number one, we are responsible for what we create as far as what we think. We cannot think horrible things and manifest beautiful realities. It just does not work that way. You have to stay in the presence of always feeling like you are in control. Yellow, sacral, no, I'm sorry. Yellow, solar plexus chakra. Lots of yellow. Wear yellow. Eat yellow. Yellow's good for that. Yellow, solar plexus, that's all about control. That's all about empowerment. Feeling like you are in power. Feeling like you are in control. Spending time out in the sun will do that for you. The sun can actually charge up that power center. And just yellow roses. Just more yellow in your life. Seeing that color, have that vibration, have that energy around you will make you maybe feel a little bit more powered and a little bit more in control. And then the 6 on the card. The 6 means spend more time with your higher self. Spend more time with your 3-year-old self. Who were you when you were 3? What did you like to do when you were 3? There is a person inside of you waiting to get out, and it's just up to you to empower that person by taking control. Because the thing about life is there's always choices. We have the beautiful power of choice. But if you don't take control and make decisions in your life will make decisions for you. And when that happens, you can't be upset because you had the chance to make a choice and you chose not to. 1 + 6 = 7. 7 has to do with rewards. And like I said, that's really rewards, blessings, God's favorite number. It's in the Bible like a billion times. 7 is just the energy of accepting your blessings, accepting your gifts, expecting unexpected miracles, really of just staying positive and staying prayerful and staying in good vibration no matter what happens, because the Tower can make things turbulent, but change is constant. Change will happen throughout life. It's not about the changes we go through, it's about how we decide to handle them, and that's where your power lies. Storm warning. 10. It's actually crazy I'm getting this card because it had said something about some type of tornado coming or some type of storm. But another way I would like to take this as the calm before the storm. That's what I'm feeling here. The calm before the storm, especially because it's got a 10 on it. 10 is all about new beginnings, 1 plus 0, and emphasis on the fact that we do create what we think. So if you want new beginnings, think positive. You know, even when it looks like there's going to be a storm, and even when it looks like there's going to be some crazy shit going on outside, you can still stay prepared by being mentally strong. The things that are going to happen coming up here, they're not only going to be mentally, they're not only going to be spiritually, they're not only going to be chemically, you know, showing up. Though, you know, those things, there's so many different attacks coming at us right now, and as above, so below. So I know that there's a war going on up there. I know there's a war going on upstairs. So I know there's a war going on down here. Now more so, but the war has been going on before there was any talk of any fighting, before there was any, you know, of the strange things going on this year that was going on. It was a mental war anyway. Look at how people are so into their phones and into their technology. Also, a little message: if you have a technology like a phone and it breaks during this Mercury retrograde, I just want you to think, like, what is that teaching you? Little short story: my daughter's child, her phone broke. I've been having some difficulties because I feel like technology takes too much of control in children's lives, and I'm trying to be more present as a parent. She's 13, and you know, her phone broke one day, just quit working. And around that time, she had also found herself grounded. So I'm sorry, I'm an old school parent. If you're grounded, you get snow phone. You better wait until you're ungrounded. She was grounded for about a month. And what I found was, it's been such a blessing that her phone has been broke, because there's so much more outside communication, you know, between us. You know, she's more active into me and to her brother. She's not just consumed by a phone. And that's, I mean, a phone consumes an adult. So what will it do to a teenager? You know what I'm saying? And so it's crazy, because before that I had kind of just, you know, every time I need help with my children, I always throw my hands up to God. Like, you know, what's the best way to help? And, you know, her phone had went, and I thought to myself, like, you know, this is a beautiful thing, because I'm seeing that, you know, a phone does take away from her presence. And that's the thing, our children these days, they don't feel very present. We have to start showing up as the example of who we should be, and we have to be okay with showing up. If we make it look like a drab experience, they're not going to partake in it. Our children are taught to conform as little as 3-4 years old. So, you know, and the indoctrination on them starts as soon as they pop out the womb. There's already weird ass shows, TV specials, and all types of shit waiting for them. So just have to try to be kind of more mindful. And there's going to be a new beginning. This is a new place. There will be a new earth. There will be a new way of life. You know, things have been this way with us for a long time. We're so set in our ways, and we just can't imagine our world being another place, being another way. But we have to realize that this world's went through so many phases long before us, and change is constant. So to the ones hoping things will go back to normal, that part of our life is gone. But the good news is, you know, we are moving kind of into a life that allows us to be truer to who we are, and who we were designed to be. This 10 definitely, the storm watch, it definitely says to me, be prepared. Things are coming. As far as the people who know, it says in the Bible, in the end times, look to the sky. Look to the sky, look to the clouds, look to your astrology if you study astrology. And just take heed of the things that are coming. I know some people like myself probably have this feeling of, there's not enough time, something's going to happen, something's happened. Stay prepared, you know. Get some safety, you know, get your safety kits going if that's what you're feeling. Let me tell you what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like I need to figure out how to farm, like how to plant vegetables, how to do that type of stuff. I'm feeling like I need my canned goods. I'm feeling like I need some flashlights. I'm feeling like I need, you know, to be more in tune with the life in front of me. I'm feeling like I need to be a little bit more nifty when it comes to things. You know, I don't know what's happening in the world, and I don't really know what's going on, and I don't have all the answers, because when it comes to things like that, my thought process is just to not take too much of that shit in, because it does start to breed fear. And God is not a God of fear. So I try to stay away from that. Okay. So, Healer of the Ages. Now, this is a bootleg ass jank depiction of Jesus. I'm sorry, he does not look like that. He is not snow pale white like that. He is not, his hair is not like that. I'm sorry. But with what I feel every time I pull this card, I feel as if this is some type of depiction of Jesus. Now, the 5 that I see, the 51 right here, the 5 I see is to let go. Keep letting go. Keep unloading. If you feel like you've let everything go, think and maybe let some more shit go. We vibrationally are shifting. Energetically, we're shifting. That's why a lot of people's appetites might have changed. People are losing weight. People aren't as hungry as they used to be. People don't really, they find eating kind of like mundane, which sounds weird, but when you get full on the spirit, you no longer are like full off of just knowledge. It's really weird, and your spirit is full. Your physical body actually doesn't crave as much food when you're spiritually full. It's really weird, but it doesn't. It really doesn't. It's the flesh that needs food to survive, but the way that this world is, there's so much external sensory. It just teaches people to indulge in everything, and like having a billion fast food places and a billion restaurants to choose from is part of that 5D sensory of indulging. Instead of indulging internally, it's just another thing for us to indulge on externally. So the 5 is to continue letting go. The 1 is a reminder that we get what we think about. We create what we think. What was in our mind is reflected in the way that we live our life. When I say that, I don't mean it's reflected in whether or not we have all the nicest things in our house, or all the newest spring collection of this, or all the new. That's not what it is. It is, just, it just depends. Like, how are you morally? How are you morally? That's what people can tell. If you are morally a decent person, you are morally a good person, no one's really surprised if you have, all your heart's desires. And it's tricky when you say it, because a person would think that if anyone could have anything in the world, they would want a bunch of money, and they would want a big house, and they would want this. But that's not necessarily true, because to some people that doesn't make them rich. So it just depends on, what you feel. But continue to let go. Excuse me. Whenever you yawn, that's like little energy like being released from your body. So I yawn a lot during readings, because I think it takes up a lot of energy. I don't even have to be tired, and I'll just yawn. 5 and 1. So remember that you are the co-creator of your life, the co-creator. You design your life in creator with God, the creator, the original creator. The reason I say co-creator is because it is a divine duet. It is a divine relationship between ourselves and God. People think that because he is the greater of us, that he should just give us what we want when we ask. Ask and you shall receive. But that's not so much true. That's why being in alignment with your 3-year-old self is so important, because 3-year-olds, they don't just sit around asking for shit. They put in the action. If they want that piece of candy, they're thinking about that piece of candy. They're going to ask for that piece of candy. They're going to go get that piece of candy. They don't just sit around waiting for the piece of candy to come to them. They are the truest to themselves. That's why it's so important. 5 and 1 is 6. And 6 is the number of cards I have. And 6 is another representation that in order to get in, you need to get in tune with your higher self. Your higher self is your 3-year-old self. Now, I have not done a video on, the higher self, exactly what that means and why it's important to get back, and the connection between, but I will very soon be doing a video to explain why it is important to get in tune with your higher self, and why it is important. People talk about like shadow work, and like pretty much shadow work is just inner child healing. Because if you knew, which you will know, and you understood our 3-year-old self, our inner child is buried underneath darkness. They are buried underneath shadows in our mind, aka the subconscious. They are buried in the foundation of our brain. In order for them to concrete into our conscious reality, we have to be conscious that that being is still there, but we don't think about that. We just move on. So, inner child healing, look it up. There's workshops. I did one by the Hood Healer. Shout out to the Hood Healer. You can find her on Instagram. You can find her on Twitter. I prayed for a spiritual teacher, someone to teach me things spiritually and at my level, and at a way I could understand. And I know how important that is when you're looking for someone spiritually to help get you where you need to get. The resonating, being able to resonate with the person. She just really stuck out to me. She's fun, she's real, and it's a Scorpio moon sign that she has. I have a Scorpio moon too. So I do get held back on the Scorpio moon sometimes because I can come across as brash, but I'm not necessarily brash. I'm just, I just try to say things how they are. I just try to speak things how they are. So that's where I get caught up there. But healer of the ages. We are in a time of healing. We are in the age of Pisces. We were recently in the age of Aquarius. That was innovation, new ways of thinking, new ways of doing things. Now, if anybody knows a Pisces, Pisces is all about love. They're all about peace. They're probably the most sensitive sign in the zodiac. But like I said, they know how to make their dreams a reality. They know how to bring that over here. We are in that phase in our lives. And it was almost like as soon as that shift happened, around January, I believe, people just kind of decided they didn't want to settle anymore. And this all just happened to be around the time of quarantine, blah, 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 blah. Take note, because none of this shit is by accident. It's all on time. People are feeling like, they have dreams, they have goals, they have things. And I feel like a Pisces, they can kind of resonate with that soft, sensitive spirit of a child. And, we just want to come out to play. The 3-year-old parts of us, from the inside of us, they're calling out and they want us to wake up so that not only can we be true to them, can we be true to ourselves, but so that we can be true to our children, because there is a very special assignment coming up for our children of the future. It's no wonder that they're the target, but another time, another video. If you've watched anything that I've said, you will know that I speak a lot on children being targeted. My vision and my purpose for God aligns a lot with helping people be consciously aware of the 3-year-old inside of themselves so that they can be conscious parent using the wisdom of their child to parent and to carry on God's plan. My last card that I have out of the 6 cards is the Thinking Man. 46. So it looks like we've got someone thinking. He's looking at a piece of glass, very amused. Usually when people look at a piece of glass, they're looking into the future. It sparkles, it shines bright. So there are some people who have set themselves up for success. They have set themselves up to have a bright future. They thought, they used their brain, they used the brain that God gave them. However, there are some people who are still confused, still don't know what to do, don't want to work. Unemployment's not a thing anymore. Even if they did work, we've got some overthinkers on our hands. So like my Cancers, I would probably say my Capricorns, my Tauruses, we've got some overthinkers in the building. One thing, number is 46, 4. You are guided, loved, and protected by your ancestors, by your angels. Your ancestors and angels are like your guardian angels. your protection angels. You can even, like, if you had a grandma that died, or like someone who died. I say grandma because I feel so much grandma energy from the other side all the time. So much feminine love being like showered onto people. And I think it's what's helping our heart chakra open up the most. Some overthinkers. Don't look too far into the future now. Don't look too far in the future. I always tell people, like, if you're going to deal with me, if you're going to mess with Ashley Indigo, one thing that we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about what's happening right now. I'm not going to help you skip over today and see what's going on tomorrow. Like, we're going to talk about this shit today. We're going to put it out here on the table now. Because one thing about being aligned and being, you know, having that 3-year-old energy is being in this moment. Being in this moment right here. Being true to yourself in this moment. Are you honoring your 3-year-old self today? Are you honoring yourself with where you're at right now? I'm not going to tell anybody's future. We're not going to do any of that. From time to time, I have things that, like, I'll see. And if I need to tell, I will. But I don't read the future. It's all about being present and touched and trusting God for me. Not so much being in the future, but just knowing, you know, knowing what things mean and understanding. Understanding is so important. 6, I also see spend time with your higher self. Spend time with that 3-year-old part of you. Learn not to think so much. Learn to feel. Learn to get into that vibration of feeling. Part of being wise like an adult and having that essence of a child is having the rationality and the wisdom of an adult, having the brain of an adult, but then just having that kind of go with the flow, trusting, you know, wisdom, you know, and innocence of a child. And then 6 and 4 is 10, new beginnings. So what I'm seeing here is know that you are loved, guided, and protected heavenly. We love you. Know that you need to get in tune with your higher self, and aka your 3-year-old self. Ways to do that is just the color, or if you have children, bring yourself down to like eye level with them and like play with them. You know, anything that you can do to get back in that child essence, because I'm not done with you. We're definitely going to talk about this. We're definitely going to talk about how to get into that. So 46, new beginnings. Expect new beginnings. This is why we're being prepared. Like from just looking at all 6 of these cards, this is why your life is being turned upside down. This is why. Because it is the calm before the storm. Teaching you how to be prepared for when things are no longer how they're recognized. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for allowing me to do the collective reading. Like I said, I have those different things. I will go ahead and drop a link. If you resonate with any of this, you can like, share. You can share to groups. I'll share to some groups that I have. But yeah, thank you. Have a good evening.